Wow, this must be the crispiest fish skin I have ever cooked. Now, how did I do that? Well, to be honest, I had to use every chef trick I learned when working in and managing some of Europe's best restaurant kitchens. I had to pull out 5 of the most secret fish skin cooking tricks to get there. Now, most chefs don't even know about them. It's literally inner circle Michelin chef secrets, and after this video, you know them too. They're actually pretty easy, but that's not all. I want to show you another trick, and that is that cooking a thick fish fillet like that with crispy skin and juicy interior is actually pretty easy. But then, how would you perfectly cook a fish fillet that is that small and thin? Because for my ultimate crispy fish skin technique, you could use a thick or a thin fillet, and remember, it's all about inner circle knowledge to get to the holy fish skin grail, for which I actually had to overcome some serious obstacles, because that's the classic, but it doesn't work, so I had to come up with some other solutions to make it better and simpler. But the first step was to make sure that the fish skin is really dry, because excess moisture in the skin is a disaster. It will make the fish skin spit when water steam gets trapped between the skin and the pan and needs to escape. And if you're lucky, it does not spit, but it will start to boil fry, like you see here, which will overcook the fish on the sides pretty quickly. Now, boil frying will not allow to get the skin super crispy. It will stay a little bit chewy, but you could even end up with a much worse case scenario, like entrapped steam, which will lead to undercooked spots. So how to avoid all of that? Now, drag a knife over the skin to eliminate excess moisture, or place the fish onto kitchen paper for 2 to 3 minutes to draw out extra moisture. But I guess that's pretty common knowledge. Inner circle knowledge would be that you not just want to dry the skin, you actually want to dehydrate it while seasoning it at the same time. And that would literally put me 1 to 2 minutes ahead in terms of crispy fish skin without the fish even having touched the pan. So I sprinkle a little bit of salt onto the skin. I let it sit for 15 to 20 minutes. Now you see the moisture comes out, then I wipe it off, and it will crispen even quicker, and it's seasoned as well. Now, step 2. When you put the fish into the pan, first the skin will shrink and contract, and that's pretty normal, so don't panic. It's just the pores closing up. All you need to make sure is that the pan is quite hot and you have enough cooking fat. Then I choose my spot where I will place the fish, because I cannot move it until it's almost cooked. You move it too early, ouch. Instead, I literally could sit back and have a drink and let the pan do all the job. Now, with a thick fish fillet, I would reduce the heat after 1 minute to medium. A thinner fish fillet, I would cook on a high heat all the way through. And 90% of the cooking actually needs to happen on the skin side before I then flip it over and turn the heat off. And then I let it rest. Now, for medium rare, I remove it after 15 to 20 seconds. For medium, I leave it for 1 minute to 2 minutes in the pan, because fish is already well done at the temperature of around 55 degrees Celsius. Like for a steak, that's still medium rare. For well done, I would just leave it in the chilling pan for 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 minutes, depending on how thick it is. And your well done fish will be still juicy, as the moisture has not escaped and the proteins have not contracted. Now, all of this works very well with thick fish fillets. Thin fish fillets are notoriously tricky to cook, but since my crispy skin perfection can be done with both, I reveal you another inner circle secret. Step 3. How to cook the thinnest of fish fillets with skin perfectly crispy and juicy medium rare meat inside. Now, this trick is my personal secret, and I've never seen it anywhere else. I came up with it when I was running my own Michelin star restaurant. So I take the fillets, I place them onto a plate, I place the plate into the freezer for approximately 20 to 30 minutes, basically till the fish fillets are just about to freeze and stiffen up. Then I dust the skin side with flour, and that's all you ever do. Never dust the meat, only slightly dust it, and rice flour, by the way, gives you the best results. The flour is not needed, but it will make it just a little bit more crispy. Hot pan, cooking fat, ice cold fish goes in, and because it's freezing cold, I get myself an extra minute of cooking time, and that's all I need to get the skin extremely crispy. Flash sear it for a few seconds on the other side, and look at that, crispy skin and the fish meat juicy. Now what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. So, while I have you here, I add a few extra steps that I think you should know when cooking fish with crispy skin. First, skewering fish I only do when I want to cook fish well done. If I score the skin, I will allow the heat to penetrate much faster. If the skin is intact, it will keep the heat away for much longer, which leads to juicier fish. Second, scales in the fish. Now that will never make fish skin crispy, but we talk about crispy scales in a minute. Third, blowtorching fish skin will just make you soggy fish skin as it starts to bubble from developing steam underneath the skin. Fourth would be that you always cook your fish on the skin side first. Fifth, I will never place fish fillets too close to each other in the pan, so I avoid heat canals where the fish starts to cook uneven on the side. And sixth, tail pieces are extremely hard to cook as they buckle up severely, that not even pressing down helps much. I mean, it's all simple if you know. But I needed to tell you all of that so that you and I are on the same level when I show you how to create this. And that brings me to the fourth inner circle secret. Pressing down fish. Don't do it. All it would achieve is that the skin disconnects from the meat and slips away and does not look good, and it's not pretty. The skin also often breaks and then gets holes. Sometimes you might have to do it like with a smaller whole side fish fillet, but you only do it if they severely buckle up, and only press it down for the first 20 to 30 seconds to adjust the skin. And be quite aggressive, but then immediately stop. If you keep pushing it for much longer, or even worse, you place a weight onto the fish while cooking, the worst thing will happen. Like what? Well, the meat fibers will just keep collapsing under the weight and under the heat. The meat will lose a lot of its natural texture and come across mushy, while you also push out a lot of the moisture. Step 5. By now you probably ask, why do I not salt my fish before cooking? Well, it's a hindrance. Salt too early and the meat juices get drawn to the surface and be lost. Juices that otherwise would keep your fish nice and moist. Salting last minute, well, that's a no again, as the salt will just sit between the pan and the skin will not brown evenly and develop gray spots where the salt was sitting. Salt after cooking or cure it, but that's the material for another video altogether. By now you know a lot about crispy skin fish, and we can go off and create this. And there's a bit of a story to that. Now, around 15 years ago, that fish skin cooked with scales became a viral hit. The idea obviously came from Chinese cooking, and it does work well with whole small fish. But fish fillets? Anyway, there were lots of pictures about it, but there were very few restaurants ever putting it on the menu, and then all of a sudden it completely disappeared. I mean, it's a brilliant idea and it looks spectacular. It seems to be simple to do. Loosen the scales and pour smoking hot oil over the fish fillet and cook the fish and expose the scales that way. Now, why has it disappeared? Well, for two reasons. Although the scales turn out perfect, the skin underneath always stayed chewy. And since the oil got poured over many times, the oil got caught between the cooked meat fibers, making the fish come across greasy with the slight taste of deep frying oil. Again, It does work pretty well on really thick fillets, but smaller ones, it's a disaster. They just shrink and buckle. I'll be honest with you, this method always fascinated me, and I did spend a little time on it, thinking how could it be done better. So that's what I came up with. I kept the basics and simplified it. I scaled the fish, and to stop the scales from getting everywhere in my kitchen, I did it in a bag, and then I filleted it. And then I poured water into the bag, so I got all the scales out. I washed them, I salted them, and then I added some baking soda to soften them and to get rid of any fishy flavor. The fish fillet I then pan-fried like before. It could be a thin fillet, it could be a thick fillet. You could dust it with flour, you don't have to do that. It doesn't matter. The scales I dried, I deep fried them. And as an extra, I also deep fried some capers and thyme and ground them up. Then I brushed that paste on my super crispy fish fillet. Could be also some tapenade or harissa. The deep fried scales, which are now incredibly refined and tasty from the baking soda and the salt, I placed on the top. And here we go, no soggy skin, just crunch after crunch. And underneath perfectly cooked juicy fish. I mean, that was easy, but there's still one step to go, and that is to taste test it to see if my idea is valid. And I created the crispiest fish skin there ever is.
A crispy skin fish today. That's a classic from 15 years ago. That's my improvement.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So go ahead.
And what's this on top?
Well, that's a secret, isn't it? Maybe
Oh, that's something you've done.
No.
Pretty.
Well,
I like the look of that one more. Very tender and nice and flaky in the mouth, and a bit of a crisp on top. I like it.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So this is your version, is it?
Yes.
Oh God, I'm kind of beginning to wish I wasn't always honest. I hope it's better. Less oily. They're both very good, but this one is a little bit less oily, and I love the crispiness on top. A little less chewy, but I don't mind the chew, but this is probably less chewy. And altogether very good.
Yeah.
Yep. They're both very good, but I think I'd have to say this one just tops it slightly on that one. I mean, this one's very good too, but this one just has something else. It's not as oily. I think that's the main thing. And it's just good flavor. I love this crisp on top.
Yeah.
This one's definitely got more flavor.
So what I did was that I made a paste out of capers and thyme.
Ah, okay.
And I put that on it, and it just adds that extra bit of flavor to the skin, isn't it?
I definitely like that. Yes.
Do you like the scales?
Oh, lovely. Nope, I like the scales, period. And they're healthy. I like anything that's healthy.
Yeah, really nice.
No, they're very nice. Nice little crunch. It's like having a crispy kale on your salad.
Okay.
It's one of those new age, health kicks that people like to enjoy.
Yeah.
I prefer that to that.
Yeah.
Really like that.
Okay. So that's it.
I like the delicate flavour. So I have that one for dinner, please.
Yeah, you can do the same. Looks like I won today.
The reason I like it is because it's not too overpowering, so you can still taste the fish.
Yes.
We just got that extra bit of seasoning with the capers. Well done.
All right.
And then the added texture with the crispy skin on top, that's a definite yes for me. All three. You did well.
Yeah.
Yes, finally. You got all three right. You got a hat trick, dear. He gets a lot right all the time. I'm just teasing you. Yep.
Anyway, I hope you liked the video. Check out my video on salmon ballantine, which is a great salmon entree in case you want to go deeper on your fish experience. And otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time.
Okay, see you later. And it's a little bit fishy in here, so it's a really bad joke, but I had to tell it.